So Michael, the path to strategy is littered with difficulty and complexity. How do you simplify?
Yeah, great strategy is about saying no to good ideas because you're saying yes to great ideas. And the path to profitability lies in doing the important things well. Unimportant things get in the way. So it is vital for organizations to focus, do a small number of things really, really well, and ignore the large number of things that will, are nice to do, maybe nice to do, but don't actually ultimately shift the needle.
Shifting the needle is so important in the current economic environment. The business cycle, we've got cost and performance pressures as well. One of the things you said to me previously really resonated. It was that how you signal to your team what is important. There was an analogy that you used. What was that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of used the old task manager analogy from people will be used to using if you've ever used Windows. And whenever whenever our computer starts running slow, we'd look at the CPU or open up Task Manager, look at the CPU, and if we're running at 80 to 90%, we start shutting things down. We start killing processes. We start trying to get that down below that CPU usage down below 20%. But in real life, it's usually the opposite. We start adding things in. If we're not running at 20% capacity, we start adding things in, layering things on, trying to get up above that 80% and as close to 100% as possible. So it's kind of counterintuitive. We know that our computers run better when we're not maxing them out, but with our teams and with ourselves, we often try and max things out. And giving ourselves more decisions to make, giving ourselves more work to do is actually a tax, not a benefit. So it's not something that, and likewise when I came from the retail world, giving customers more choice is actually a tax, not a benefit, because we're adding to that cognitive load that we have in the numerous, I think it's 35,000 decisions an average adult person has to make every single day. So adding more decisions into that workload means we make poorer decisions as the day goes on, or we start to make risk-averse decisions. And we struggle with processing large amounts of information and being able to make those complex decisions that sometimes we need to make or our teams need to make.
So really what I'm hearing you saying, Michael, is the role of the CIO in underpinning growth, driving innovation, is how we simplify for our people, signal what's important, to then drive the experience that our customers want. As you tried to drive some of these changes, what challenges did you encounter?
I think human nature is probably a big challenge that we encounter. Human beings we're additive, not subtractive. Everybody has a to-do list. Not many people have a stop-doing list. So we like adding things in to get more things done. Or if we want to try and simplify things, we start to add in a process instead of actually removing things. So a couple of things I do with my team is that I give them those hints as you said. Instead of saying how do we improve something, I'll say how do we simplify this. Instead of asking what features we want, I'll ask what can we take away. So there's some of the things that we can do. Another challenge that we have is obviously dealing with our boards and our leadership teams who obviously want more and more. There's a never-ending list of things that we could be doing, and boards and executives constantly want more from our teams.
So it's pushing back in the right way with the correct rationale to say, yes, we hear those demands, but today, to get those fundamentals right, we have to keep it simple. And as we drive to some of those outcomes, business performance, employee experience, and also driving margin growth as well. Were there other outcomes that you were able to achieve through this journey?
Yeah, I think employee experience is a significant one that we can that we've seen an uplift in. It's a better customer experience for customers. If the things that matter to customers on a customer journey, there's always those moments of truth that are more important to a customer, whether it's sometimes we call them friction points, where if you have a good experience at this point in your interaction with a company, it's it's a real benefit, and in another area it's probably less important. So working on those small number of really important things for our customer and prioritizing by customer importance is another tip I'd give. And if we are focusing on those small number of things that are really important to customers, we're going to get a better outcome. I think, like I said, we talked about interacting with boards and CEOs, and that can be a difficult task for a CIO to come around and say, no, we're not going to do this. But I always, CIOs and CFOs and pretty much everybody else on the board, they're usually pretty financially literate. They're usually pretty good at mathematics. So there's a simple mathematical analogy that I use with them. I'll ask a board, are you going to double the size of my team? The answer is always no. Mm-hmm. So I have a constrained capacity, I have a constrained workforce, I have a constrained number of hours in a day. So I have a fixed capacity to get this amount of work done. I'm working on 5 things. If you give me another 3, what you've said is you want the first 5 to go slower. Yeah. And nearly instantaneously, the CEO go, oh, no, I don't want that. Yeah. And conversely, you can have that discussion with the team or with the CEO and say, I'm working on 5 or 6 things. If you take 2 out, then the remaining work gets done more quickly. So there is that trade-off. Now, the thing that CIOs have to do then is you have to deliver on that. So if you are saying no to work, you must deliver on the work that you say you're going to do, and you must deliver on it quickly.